back with another episode of Inside the 48. Today we are here with
Renee Nottage.
Nottage and
Renee
Nottage and Renee Nottage of Velvet Buck Productions.
This is the first time I've done two people in one interview.
That's
team.
why we are stepping on each other's lines already.
So, I don't know who wants to answer it first, but what got you guys into film?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh.
Sure.
Let's see. I have always been a photographer, a professional photographer. And after I retired from the city, I was the chief photographer there for 30 years. I've always been interested in film. And back in college, prior to that, I shot on 16mm and edited wet spliced 16mm. And that was not gonna happen anytime soon because of the investment necessary. Mm-hmm. So the advent of digital, fast forward, about 10 years ago, I started in Ray's class, acting class, and a lot of people in that class went on to become a lot of people that have acted and produced 48s, like Pauline and Danny Bass. Everybody was in that class. It was a pretty cool time. And then in 2013, it was 2013. So I was involved with another team, and that didn't go well, and I got out of that, and then we decided to do one. And we pulled drama, mm-hmm. and I had a location, namely the USS Cod submarine downtown. And I'm like, well, if we don't use that somehow, we're crazy. And we shot. It was pouring rain, and the submarine was open for visitors, for business the whole day. And we pulled it off, and we're really proud of that film. So
you had to film around the customers that were coming.
Yes,
in.
And we had.
It was a long day.
And I mean, I've always been into film. We had done live events for many years. And in fact, I was into special effects makeup. I ran foam latex appliances, and we self-applied, and we did skits at different conventions, and we won a bunch of awards there. During many years when you couldn't commit it other than crappy DV video, or mm-hmm. you couldn't commit anything to write it into stone. And video was video in the 90s, of course, and then all of a sudden 1080 bang, and we're into the realm of actual exhibition. So we're no strangers to doing stuff like that. So we had kind of a little bit of a head start. And
also, probably about 12 years ago, I mean, before I took a class. There was a Hollywood, I can't remember his name. He was in town doing like a three day weekend mm-hmm. thing on filmmaking. Thing. Yeah. And so I took that, it was directing, and then the whole business kind of behind it. And this guy basically said, it came across as like, don't even bother trying to make a movie in Hollywood because it'll never go anywhere. So it was kind of discouraging. And at that time, we didn't know the independent film people anywhere in the area. And so it was kind of like, I just put that on the back burner. It was like, okay, this would be something I would like to do, but it was kind of discouraging because of the way that guy presented this stuff. So, like Donn said, 2013, we had gone to, he was actually supposed to be on, in 2012, he was supposed to be on Maple's team. And then he got real sick. Maple Films.
Yes.
And so he couldn't be in it. And then but we had gone to the best of showing, even though we didn't know like anybody. And then when I saw that, I was like, I would like to do that. We should do that.
We had met people, took a bunch of pictures, etc. But Maple, I forgot about that. I had surgery, and I was like, I can't do this. And I was like, and at the time they really wanted me and to act, and I'm like, oh shit. Oh well, another day. So then 2013. Topside, we really loved it. We got nominated for Best Score, and it was royalty-free stuff, and I chose the music, and it works out brilliantly. I just put it on my page, I reposted it. But we're pretty proud. I didn't shoot it. I wish I would have shot it. I wasn't really up to speed. I had someone else shoot it. And there were a lot of issues with that in the editing and the delivery of it. And while he would shoot at 29.97 frames a second, 30 frames a second, basically is beyond me, and I could have killed him after I started to learn the deal. So we made up for it later that year with the horror, but I digress. We'll get to that. Go ahead with your question.
No, that's cool. No, but like you're saying, you went to the best of, so that's a great way to network if you've never actually been
Right.
to any of the.
Yeah, that
48s.
is.
I recommend it. Anyone
Yeah.
who's everybody go to the events.
Yeah, to go to the best of just to get an idea of what it's all about, and then you're seeing the films that were picked that were the best of.
So for filmmaking, like who were your influences, your mentors that kind of said, yeah, I just want to do this now. Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I have filmmakers that I really like, but it wasn't necessarily anybody from, through the past. And oh my God, there's my phone. Ignore the birds in the background. I noticed somebody else's interview had a lot of birds, so don't worry about that. So yeah.
Pauline. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Johnny's did too. Lots of birds there. Anyway, so I totally lost my train of thought.
Who are you? I mean,
Influences.
Oh,
Yeah.
influences. Yeah. So, one of the most perfect movies ever made, I think, is The Prestige, Christopher Nolan. So, and Memento was a great movie, and that was before we had started doing any kind of film. But I really like Wes Anderson's stuff, and
I mean, I like a variety of directors, but they've all had stinkers, horrible stinkers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Godfather 3, Ridley Scott, Prometheus. Personally, I'm not a fan. Nolan, I'm not a fan of Inception.
Yeah.
Or even
Interstellar.
Interstellar, which is great, but it got a lot of narrative flaws and story points that you go, what the did I just, especially the end. But there are some, I mean, like Coppola with Godfather 2 is a masterpiece. The Prestige, again, the structure of that movie is, it demands rewatching. It really begs rewatching. You have to watch it more than one time. I'm a big Blade Runner fan. It's like my favorite movie. It's a horribly flawed film, but it is still incredibly great. And the sequel, I think, is Denis Villeneuve is brilliant. Mm-hmm. The way he handled the sequel. A film like, who was it? It was Rosemary's Baby is a great film. Mm-hmm. Just Definitely. The way it is keeps you on the edge of your seat, and it is terrifying because it's a true horror film, because it's like, gee, all of your friends suddenly become people you didn't think they were, and all of a sudden they're out to, they have an agenda, and you didn't realize it, and you're innocently going along with your life. Visually, again, Greg Toland, who shot Citizen Kane. Citizen Kane is a classic for certain reasons. Look at the shots in that. Black and white. There's a lot of stuff in the 30s and 40s I really like. A lot of directors from that era.
Rosebud.
Yeah, I mean, there's, it's been beaten to death and it's become sort of a. But I mean, the Russo brothers, what they're doing is incredible. I was on Cherry for a couple days, and I had met the guys before. They went to my high school, to Benedictine, and just the laid back way they work, and the teamwork that they have, and the vision they have, and what they put on film. My God, on all levels. I don't recall the cinematographer on Endgame and Infinity War, but I mean, it's just putting out some incredible stuff. So it's a wide range of influences here.
Scorsese, it's funny too when you see he's got great stuff, but the first time we went to see Gangs New York in the theater, I hated it. I mean, I didn't like it. I thought it was horrible. And then we watched it on TV, and then watched it again
and again
and again and again and again. So really now it's like a favorite because just certain things like Daniel Day-Lewis is so great in that, and
Hoffa as well. Hoffa's a brilliant. And Nicholson's brilliant. I mean, that's getting into other. But, I mean, as far as influences go, Hoffa is just something you got to watch. The best way for people to get into, inch their way into making movies is to watch movies, watch classic films, watch All About Eve. I mean, watch these films, watch the acting, watch the story, and watch and pay attention to the reasons why you get hooked from the beginning. And that's what I always say about 48. You got to hook people in the beginning. If you go too much, if there's too much exposition, too much narrative crap, people are going to go, huh, is this like 7 minutes already gone by? Or what the-
Yeah.
Why did they get 15 minutes for their film?
yeah, why did they get, how many times have we said that? Like, how come they got 15 minutes and we only got 6 or 7? So, anyway.
No, I know what you mean. Like the first time I saw Vanilla Sky, when I walked out of the theater, I was like, "What did I just watch?"
Yeah.
I had no clue what I watched.
Mhm.
I watched it again and again. I'm like,
It's-
okay, that
I
makes
love
more
the
sense.
movie, yeah, I mean, and I'm not a big Tom Cruise fan, but I thought that's a great movie.
Yeah.
I really, yeah, it's like if it's on, I'll watch it. Like Hot Tub Time Machine.
How many? Yeah. Oh, that's classic.
Oh, it's our favorite comedy of all time.
How many 48s have you done?
We have done,
Have you always done them together?
check
Yes.
my, yes,
Okay.
we have done 9 48s. I have to refer to my notes because we have done 9 48s.
I do
and-
give everybody the questions ahead of time, so.
Well, as
You
far
do?
as,
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Just so, so a lot of people
He
get
gave
nervous.
it to us today. No, I'm just
I mean, as far as, I was going to say, as far as like between shorts like this, the 48, and features, 48s flex your filmmaking muscles. It's like swinging 5 bats and then swinging 1. When you do all that stuff and you're under that time crunch and you have to be efficient, you have to be everything, you are forced to become better at what you do. Feature films, you've got the luxury and sometimes too much time. There's a story about that I can tell. Documentaries, it's a whole different animal. We had a documentary in mind, and it hit us like a lightning bolt driving down Lorraine. We're driving by, and it's one evening. I'm looking, and this is back in late
Yeah, it was
early
like
March, February.
Yeah, it was February.
And I'm like, old-fashioned hot dogs. We got to go in there sometime. I'm like, that would be an awesome Cleveland documentary about the place. Fast forward, I make out the paperwork. We go there. We talk to the owners. They're on board with it. They love the idea. It was like walking into a Jim Jarmusch movie. These people were just, I mean, we were going to interview the regulars. We were going to talk to the owners. They had photos of the history of the place. It's been there for 92 years in one form or another. And they were going to close on March 29th. They lost their lease and they're going to retire.
I read that. Yeah.
And what happened? March 15th. Guess what happened?
Yeah.
Shut down. I had already started shooting footage.
Yeah.
And that was depressing. So that was going to be, it was going to be called Old Fashioned Hot Dogs, the movie. So that'll never, it's gone.
It'll never
So.
happen. Yeah.
But you were going to say.
Do you prefer to do one thing or the other, like documentaries, shorts, features, music videos? Do you have a
I
preference?
prefer shorts personally, and for us, well, for me, I should say, because he had been in some longer productions, more on the acting end of it. But for me, it was like the first experience was something like that, which was kind of good because it's like if you do this first, you could do like anything after that. You know what I mean? Everything after that is easier because you've already done this intense thing, and then, then it's like, oh, I've got time. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
To me, it's like a
So
great learning experience.
It's. I mean, we kind of, with the 48, we got into the habit of doing these shorts, and then we did First Impressions, which was like a 20-minute comedy short back in 2018. Which was really, and we didn't shot in like 2 days, 3 days, something like that.
He was
That was
in it.
there, yeah.
Yeah, of course. Duh, you were there.
The mime was classic.
That was, that's another story. But there was a whole story behind that.
So much B-roll of that.
Oh, good. I want to see it.
No, I mean, did you?
Do we have?
Do we
no,
have
you know
the-
what?
I think
No.
you guys said you
We
did so
used-
much than
Oh,
was actually in it. Right?
I did a 30-minute stretch of the routine,
Right.
and
But it was only in there for like a little bit. But you have so much that you've done.
I have.
Yeah.
There was so much, but we James and we took the salient bits. I played a French impressionist, and it's someday you'll see it. I'll put it up. But anyway, so no, how many have we done? We've done 9. 2013 we did Topside. 2013 horror we did Uncivilized Servant, which won the first ever horror 48, and we won 7 awards for that. And then the film Cleveland 2013 that they had over at the Capitol. We won Audience Choice for that. We're actually for Uncivilized Servant Service Pack 2, which had a little bit more footage in it and some effects stuff. 2014, we did Grounds for Elimination. We won Best Sound Design, Best Effects, Editing, Audience Choice. Servant, we won Best Film, Best Ensemble Acting, Best Writing, Special Effects, Sound Design, Best Graphics, Best Use of Weapon.
It was a good year.
Yeah.
2014, we did the In-Towners, which was an invitational thing, as a new Amsterdam vodka promo thing. It was called It's Your Town. You have to talk about your town. It was a nationwide thing. And that was stressful as hell. That was unbelievably stressful. 2015, The Final Guffaw, which was a very dark comedy. And it was a huge cast, like 25 people were on something like that.
Not quite that.
It was a lot of,
Seemed like.
And that was really great. It was a dark comedy. We won character prop lines, the 48 Spirit Award and Audience Choice, and Best Film Runner-Up. 2015, one of my favorites, it was for the horror.
For the horror. We didn't do the summer one, yeah.
No, we didn't do the summer. We won Audience Choice. We were nominated for film, Best Film Writing, Directing, Editing, and Score. 2016 Swan Song, which was going to be our swan song.
Yeah. We're like this. We're done with
Is that the one where they fall through the floor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We won
Yeah.
Best Special Effects. We were nominated for Makeup. And 2017, we did a bunch of other stuff we'll talk about. 2017, we did Hating Tom Planks in conjunction with another filmmaker. We won Best Score. And that's it's good because James Naiman did it, but he did it by tapping on his iPad. That was the score. He won Best Score. So I'm like, good for you.
That's weird. Yeah.
That was weird.
And then 2019, we did Tales of Fire, which was the Burning River thing, the Extinguish thing.
That was really good.
Terry Wiley won Best Supporting Actress. We got Best Special Effects, Best Use of Prop, Location, Cinematography. Yay for me.
And a cool trophy.
Yeah.
That was a really cool
we got
trophy.
third
And
place
honorable
for that
mention. I prefer to call it honorable mention. But that was we really loved that and the Metro Parks people loved it because of the ecological theme, and it stuck to the theme of the river, and it was, so that's, as far as the 48s go, that's that.
It's a 48.
So.
I was kind of disappointed in that particular 48 as how many people didn't pay attention to, hey, it's got to be about the river. And
Exactly.
They didn't.
It was, the whole
Yeah.
idea was to discuss, or not to discuss, but to emphasize
Mm-hmm.
the reason for this whole thing, which was the river anniversary burning.
50 years,
And it was like, Renee did brilliant, Renee wrote the whole thing. She was all night, in fact, right here, and she was downstairs typing. I'm like, she goes, I got it. And it was like, what's midnight or something?
No, it was even
It's like-
earlier than that. That took a long time.
and I
did
looked
some
at it,
research
and-
on the river beforehand, so.
And the
I got
research she did was great, and people did not know some of the things that was featured in the film. And I was determined, I'm like, okay, if we're doing this, we're going to shoot it on the water. And we shot it on the water in April, and it was cold. And sitting in your kayak with that ice water underneath you and the current at that time of year coursing out to the lake to hold position was an unbelievable challenge. Steven Spielberg, after Jaws, said, I'd never shoot another movie on water. At the time, he said, don't ever do it. With the horizon issues and the wind and the weather and everything.
I didn't think about that, yeah.
But we were struggling, and I have a pedal kayak. I'm struggling to maneuver and to shoot, and I can't believe we got the quality out of it. Well, I knew what my equipment was capable of, the sound quality and everything, but
No, I'm still like a big to the actors that like.
the actors were in those
all day
kayaks
in
for
those
7
kayaks,
hours.
And it was like.
They were in there for 7. Put Tina Goldfarb in. She had never been in one of my kayaks, and she was in there for 7 hours straight. No bathroom, nothing.
Yeah,
And
which
we-
people tell it's like, tell us if you need to stop.
Yeah, and we'll stop. But then we had to wait for boat traffic to go by.
Oh, yeah, because that's a busy...
And I'm trying to shoot a plate shot for the effect, and the fire effect was like 15 layers. Me and James he was just looking at it, and I'm like, holy shit, how many is this? Like something like 15 layers. Trying to get it right, because I had it in my head. I wanted this. That's the money shot right at the beginning. It blows people, out of the,
Sure.
So that was a favorite. That was definitely a favorite.
Did you bring anything to protect the camera, or if you
No.
like? So if you would have dropped it, it would have got ruined. Then.
No, I shot with. I knew I was going to shoot. If I'm going to shoot on the water, I'm not going to shoot with a GH5. I brought my Sony NX70U, which is the same camera they use on Naked and Afraid. They give the contestants that are out in for 21 days out in the elements in the Amazon. It's a Sony that is weather sealed, O-ring sealed everywhere. It's a camcorder, great quality. They don't even make it anymore. And I knew if I got wet or I got splashed or something, I'm not gonna. And everything was integral, and the audio on that is just top notch. And everything recorded was in camera. The LPCM audio is just pristine in that camera. So I'm like, because I knew I was going to have to maneuver with one hand. So I'm literally shooting one-handed. But I had to wrap extra dead cats around the mic because the wind was just howling. The wind was, but it came out clean.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I was like, yes. So I know that camera. I got so much stupid equipment. It's like nothing to shoot right now, but
So do you have a set way that you do your 48s? Like when you pull your genre, do you say, okay, all right, we have this much time, and I want to have the story done by this time, and I want to film this time and end this time, or do you just kind of like film until you're done?
We always write Friday night, shoot Saturday, finish it. Well, we always had our editor on site, so editing as we went.
Oh, that's good.
So, except for the first one, which
it
was a nightmare.
Is that
So,
the
and this
worst
is
one?
why. I'll tell you why.
was the worst experience.
And then finish it up on Sunday, and that's always been like worked really well. The first one we did, our editor, the guy that shot it and edited it, he just was. He stayed over our house that night, and he was just going really slow, and I was like, "Hey, I made you breakfast. you know, we gotta get there.
We gotta get this delivered.
You're killing me right now." We made it there with like 4 minutes to spare, and I drove. I said, "You guys, give me the disc.
Terrifying.
Let me just go, and you guys come like after me because we have to turn in at 1, before the deadline." And it was like,
And what did he
4
do?
minutes before we.
He burns a DVD, not a Blu-ray. And I was sick when I saw it. I'm like, I don't even know if his system was capable of burning Blu-rays. I was sick to my stomach. I'm like, how could you?
Oh, you could hand in Blu-rays and stuff back then, not on a thumb drive.
I don't recall. I think we may have had an opportunity to do it on a thumb drive.
I think we gave him a disc.
We upload them now.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
So,
But I mean, 2013 was different.
Yeah.
I don't recall, but I know it was just like, give me something. I gotta go. Just give me something. And I had no control. And then from that point on, it's like we have to have control.
Yeah. I mean, he was a great guy, really talented, but. Yeah.
Did you watch it before you handed it in, or you just hoped that it was good?
We saw it on we didn't even check it. We couldn't have time.
Yeah.
We saw it on the monitor. He had an old Apple Tower that he brought in. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. It was a PC. It wasn't Apple. Wasn't
No,
it?
it was an Apple. No, it wasn't an Apple.
I don't even know what. It was an ancient.
It brings in this tower into the house.
And then
it kept crashing.
Oh, it was crashing like hell. It was. Don't. I'm having a panic attack. So let's move on.
Yes, moving on.
No, as far as for a set thing, yes, pick the genre. Get the hell to the location where we're going to write. We made, again, learning experience. We started out with a whole bunch of people writing. Don't do that. Don't have, and other filmmakers, don't have a whole bunch of people writing. Have a writer. Have somebody that's a team. Have somebody writing that knows what we're going to do. I mean, somebody higher up on the food chain, not everybody shouting ideas. Well, what if we do this? What if we had like 1,000 aliens beam down? Like, no. What if? No, stop. Just.
Are we doing a feature?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we've gotten to the point, by the time we did Hating Tom Planks, we wrote it in the car on the way from picking. Tom Planks was basically Renee wrote it. We're in the car shouting ideas, and I got my camera going. I got to remember this. I'm shooting myself. And so don't involve a ton of people. I have a note here on that. Don't.
For the do's and don'ts, yeah.
Do's and don'ts.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, finish on Sunday, but hopefully you'll get somebody to edit while you're shooting and swap out cards. And that's what James was always great with. We did that. We had like a well-oiled machine thing going on with that. And then edit Sunday. And then if you have to pick up anything or do any ADR, do it Sunday. Because all the tweaking is going to take longer than you think. And of course the effects are going to take longer than you ever think. You may plan on it and you have no idea how you could have, you got a mic in the corner. We got to After Effects that out. You know, we got somebody in the background. We have to
on their phone.
We've got somebody. We've got audio issues. We've got somebody who is texting, etc. And click, 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 click in the audio that we didn't catch. You never know what's going to be out there. Prepare, prepare, prepare. If you have a small team, if you're shooting it, you got to have those batteries charged. Have your paperwork in order. Have all that stuff ready to turn in. Don't put that off. Many times we were like calling, we need your signature, we need we need to come out there and get you. No, we did that. We didn't?
We did? No.
Yeah, we did.
Not maybe once. We usually had that stuff pretty much down. What we would call for is, how do you want your name to appear in the credits?
Yes.
So that was maybe a thing. I mean, I always had the paperwork ready, but as far as like that goes, because then you'd have somebody go, well, yeah, that's how my name is on Facebook, but I would have preferred if you used, this or whatever. So,
I've heard that.
Yeah.
It's like, so we try and ask people, like how we would try and ask them, how do you want your name to appear in the film? So
Preparing, what else?
preparation. Get food, whatever you're gonna.
Oh yeah.
Whatever food you're gonna have.
Do you guys have a set thing? Do you tell people to bring their own lunches, or do you order pizza?
No,
or
no.
get,
No,
like,
we
cookout,
usually
or?
try to, always the morning when we start shooting, like on Saturday morning, I would always go to Dunkin' Donuts and get those box coffees and bagels and some donuts, so that breakfast was taken care of. Lunch we did like several different ways over time.
Yeah.
I think the only time we brought anything in ourselves was the first time. No, it was Taylor's mother brought us lunch that time.
Yeah, for Topside. And then we shot at Gotti's for Grounds for Elimination, the silent film we pulled. And that was great because I'm like, I got all my audio stuff, I don't have to use it. Because we shot a neo-classic black and white silent slapstick film, and it was great. And it was great, and we didn't win. Somebody won with a very dead serious home invasion one that was like very contemporary and kind of like, and we had this hilarious. So we shot at Gotti's at Negative Space, and then my mom shows up with party trays and everything. We were done wrapped by 4:30 that day, Saturday, and that also went like clockwork. That went
It's great when it happens.
Yeah, and I think as we went on, our shooting ratio on Final Guffaw, which was 2015 and Grounds for Eliminate was like 90%. We didn't shoot anything. If you plan and you have your script tight and you are going down, crossing off those shots that you got, nothing's going to fall through the cracks. And then shoot a safety, big deal. But if you don't have to just shoot. If you see something interesting, you might think in your mind, if you're doing it yourself, because I like to shoot. I like to shoot. I mean, I like to shoot and direct. Renee likes to write mainly, and act, because I could do all that stuff. I could act. I could shoot. I could do makeup. I could do. I like
effects,
to. Yeah. I mean, I could do. I like to shoot and direct because. I'll go aside with this a little bit. When you have a play, you have people on a stage, a proscenium, and all that action takes place there, and they are presenting their version of reality to the audience. And it's basically a fixed set. And you're watching people in action with a film. You are creating this window, and you are presenting your world to the audience through this window. And you are able to manipulate the audience's emotions and mindset by presenting your reality. And that is how everything there is the language of film, as it's been called. Everything there, the acting, the script, lighting, cinematography, all that adds up to a specific language that you create, that you customize for yourself. And film is about manipulating. Frankly, it's about manipulating audiences. It's about you go for the gut.
That sounds, yeah.
You go for the gut. You go for the groin. You go for the. If you go for the head, you got to make it interesting, and you got to make it cohesive. But the language of film can be, in a piece, can be the style, the lighting style, the shooting style. Everything is a specific, but you are the one. So when I'm directing or and I'm shooting, I'm imagining whatever you're looking at. That's what's going to be on that. So there's no excuse. If you're shooting something, that's what it's going to be. It's not going to be different because you didn't shoot it that way. It's not going to be, well, I wish I would have done it that. Well, what's wrong? Well, I should have. I didn't do it. So it's like you are creating this reality is thrust upon audiences, and that's what's awesome. The power of it, because you've got a theater of people, and you've got what you saw in your viewfinder on your monitor, and there it is, and it's highly manipulative but entertaining. This day and age, we need entertainment more than ever. It's like the Depression. Our slogan was, we aim to entertain. It still is. We aim to entertain. We aim to entertain. I mean, there may be a little message or a suggestion of something in there, but it's not bludgeoning people to death. I think that's the biggest mistake you could make. People need entertainment right now. Desperately, and with the 48, you have such an array of entertaining films that you're definitely going to be entertained if you go to one of the showings. But
they changed the genres and stuff this year.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Yeah, they haven't been announced yet, but yeah, you'll see.
It's been announced, yeah. It's okay, we won't see that.
So,
is there a genre that you always wanted to pick and never got not picked?
No.
I will say, though, this was going back to Grounds for Elimination, the silent film. That was one that I would not have wanted to pick, like at the time. And so we were at the drawing, and and I picked it, and I looked at it, and I just was like,
what was the other choice?
Shit!
It was like this or
no,
this.
they didn't have.
Oh, really?
They didn't have.
that
No,
was
it was
it?
one.
You got one choice.
Oh.
And then that's when they had the if you wanted to swap it out, they had like the 5 other genres. Like if you didn't want that and you wanted to pick one of the other ones, you could do that. But no matter what you got there, tough, because that's what you would have gotten.
You risk
That's
getting
how they
musical
used
or
to do it.
Western.
Right, that was when that wasn't part of the genres. That was
Okay.
like one of the, I forgot what they used to call them. But anyways, so yeah, this was
Sucker
2014. They
pulls.
still had, you only got that one choice.
Huh.
But
That was before my time.
So we
Listen.
we're like, oh my god,
What the hell?
That was like
And
that
it
was
was
the most
the-
like truest 48.
It was the
you could
absolute.
ever
Well, they're all.
imagine.
But this was like absolute, just gut wrenching, sort of a gut punch we could have imagined, because we just had no plan. We had no clue. We didn't know what the hell we were going to do. We came here to write. So we're the one of the requirements. One of the characters is a barista. Okay, so we're throwing ideas around. We don't know where the hell we're going to go with it. And I ended up calling Rob Swanson, who is my co-producer and director on The Final Goodbye, because he's into all kinds of vintage old stuff. And he says, well, back in the 20s, they had all these like dance contests, and they had these flagpole sitting contests. So why don't you have a coffee drinking contest? And I went, thank you, goodbye, but be there tomorrow. Be where we're going to be. I'll call you back. And I said, coffee drinking contest, and then it took off. And we wrote these ridiculous scenes that we were laughing and writing it, going, this is awesome, because if we pull this off, it's going to be hilarious. So I'm like, Renee you had called around a different coffee
yeah,
shop.
I went and talked to somebody at Root, and they said there was another team there in the morning. Yeah, you can use it, and I knew that wasn't going to work because I knew, this takes a long time. you need some place where you can be there for a while. So then, while I was gone, Don called Gotti and asked him if we could use the studio. And he said, yeah, he let us be there all day. We, didn't have anybody coming in. It was awesome.
The older space, and it was a neo black and white silent movie slapstick. Everything worked so well in that. We wrapped by 4:30. At the time, we brought a bunch of food in. We always try to treat, I may have mentioned, treat our people well. We feed everybody. Those things have changed since with all this Corona stuff. But we really knocked that one. I think we knocked that one out. We wrapped at 4:30, and then cutting it together was an absolute riot. And Gotti's cooperation was just, he welcomed us with open arms. So we had one actress, though, that was like, I have to leave by 1 o'clock. When you sign on to one of these things, make sure that your people are on board the whole day. Because then we had to shoot all of her scenes first. And how that was going to fit later, it was a miracle to jigsaw together, because we weren't sure how that was. But like, you drop a bomb on somebody, we treat people with respect, we expect the same in return. So that wasn't cool, but we pulled it off. I mean, forged ahead, had all that sound equipment, didn't need the sound equipment. It was great. And then we finally, rendered it black and white, and I'd like to do another silent film sometime, some kind of I love black and white, really rich black and white looks of the films of the 30s and 40s, etc. So, where were we? I don't know.
Judging, how did that work? Did they send you footage like on tape, or did you have to go to a website, or how did Brian do?
When we judged, we judged the Cincinnati 48 back in 2017.
And they sent it to us. It was Brian had a high quality file, YouTube or Vimeo or something, and we watched it on a 4K screen at James's. And this is one of the things we changed about the 48 is the judging. I don't remember if this is a second part of this, so I don't recall what we had. But I mean, back in Topside 2013, I approached one of the judges and I said, what were the parameters, etc.? What were you how did this work? Because there's supposed to be a percentage. Renee will detail that in a second. And she said, well, it's all subjective, and just kind of walked away. And I'm like, why are we doing this, again? But the percentages are...
Well, there was percentages, and I don't know what they are offhand, but like X percentage for creativity, this percentage for, writing, this percentage for, the technical stuff. Yeah. So when we judged the Cincinnati, we made all the awards, made squares, like all the films, and then a 1 to 10 for each award.
Directing, lead actor, lead actress, supporting, cinematography, editing, 1 to 10. Very simple. Very simple. You take all of the subjectivity out. Mm-hmm. There may be some personal stuff, but you take the subjectivity out, and that's one of the reasons we kind of backed away, because the judging was so inconsistent. And when you have judges that are friends of people, or they're in the acting class of the person, or the list goes on, there are going to be tremendous biases. When you have a matrix like that, a form that you physically fill out and add the numbers up, and then we met Brian out at Tommy's, and we said, here's our thing, here's what it was, and we discussed everything. It's like, that's a great system. And I'm like, I mean, it makes sense, because of, instead of judges just going, oh, well, I don't know, I kind of like that, I was offended by this or that, or, no, it's got to be as objective as it should be, as objective as possible.
Yeah.
Now, there was a film, you could tell that story.
Oh, there was a film.
Black and white art film.
Yep, it was really cool. And we wanted to give it, cinematography for sure. That was like one of the high scores. And because it was really cool. They had a cool, first a drone. It was like shot outside. It was a really cool film. Very interesting, really artsy. And the film itself, was it all in another language?
Yeah.
I think it was all.
Yeah.
And so
foreign film then?
Yeah.
It was. I don't know what. It was Serbian.
There
or
was
something.
very little dialogue in it though, because it was just really visual. So.
Not the Serbian film.
No, not the Serbian film.
The Serbian film.
I would never watch it.
It was like I would have given that.
Yeah, I could watch it, but anyways, don't watch that.
I laughed my ass off.
So when we got together to go over what we chose, we had to ask Brian if that was legitimate to give it a prize because it was, you know, you couldn't understand the line. We didn't really know where it was. And he said, well, I have to talk to the higher-ups. And so he double-checked, and we couldn't, it got disqualified because the line was in another language and you couldn't pick it out. There was no subtitles, so. And it was unfortunate because we really liked it and we couldn't give it.
Yeah, but the rules are the rules, and the rules exist for a reason. If you're going to have a contest like this, and you're going to have people investing money, you're going to have people going out of their way, time, money, this is all, you know, you're not going to make money from it. You're investing everything. You're investing yourself. You have to stick to the rules. Prop, character, line, make sure they're there. Make sure you get them right. How many times have we seen the line get blown?
Mm-hmm.
The line get blown. And then people get all pissy about it. Well, own up to it. If you blew the line, you blew the line. That's part of the deal. Mm-hmm. You don't go back on a football play and say, but I don't think we should do it that way. I think it should have been, you give me another three yards. No, there are rules for reasons. So you have to stick to, those should be adhered to by teams. And understand that when you're going in, and make sure everybody understands it too. Make sure your whole team understands it. And it's up to you as a leader to make sure your entire team understands everything that's going on. Those ground rules, that preparation. You're given this plate of unknown crap. The genre is you're given this plate of unknown. Have another plate of known stuff. This is what you can control. You can control all this. So have that prepared. I just can't stress it enough. Have your batteries charged. Have your lens adapters ready. Have your script in everybody's hands. Have your paperwork ready. So there.
Have you ever turned in film late?
No.
No.
We've come close.
The very first one, we had like 4 minutes.
Yes.
Oh, we had
So
4
I don't know,
minutes.
anything.
And we've watched people come in 30 seconds late.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way it goes.
I'm glad I don't have to deal with that
Yeah.
because it's all uploaded now. They don't
So
We
they
had-
go by the time?
Yeah, I don't have to say no. Basically, it's uploaded now. The time you start it, it has there's a checksum, is what it's called. It sends you an email, and the email says yes, you started it at 4:52. You know, and you had, you know, it was before the 5 o'clock deadline
Yeah.
or whatever. If it fails, you can try it again. If it fails again, they can send it to me and I can upload it for them. But it was in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it shows that they tried ahead of time. So like
He's-
Conrad's failed. So he
Oh.
and I got it. Mark, we transferred it. The we transfer thing. He sent it to Mark and he sent it to me, and then
Yeah.
I uploaded it. And it failed a couple times for me too.
See, that's the downside. At least when somebody hands you a jump drive, you got it.
Mm-hmm.
But then you have to plug it in and watch it. I mean, we, out of morbid curiosity, how many of us have waited down at the drop-off point of the 48, and we drop it off, and then we're going to sit there, let's see who comes in late. Especially if it's in a bar. Then you're like,
Drinking.
oh, they're not here yet. They're not here yet. And somebody comes running in. I watched a team out at their car with their iMac. They're just watching their MacBook, just waiting. I mean, it was like the opening thing with the stupid song, and it's like still rendering.
Mm-hmm.
Watched people run in at the 48, the one we shot in the water on Tales of Fire. One guy came running down and got in just into the wire, and there were only like five or six teams.
Yeah.
Yeah. For the way that they do it now, it's uploaded and they can't see it. This was a good point that one of the teams brought up. So he uploaded it and the audio was off like a half a second. Didn't know it. So like I didn't know. All the judges were messaging me the night of, and they were saying, "Hey, so is this film supposed to be like this? Like, is it a glitch or is literally the film like this?" And I said, "Well, it's literally a glitch. I mean, there's nothing I can do about it. That's how they handed it. Yeah. It was wrong. So one of the teams asked, "Well, I wish we could upload it and then view it sort of like on Dropbox. You could see. Oh, well, cool. I'm proud of that.
Right.
You know, I have no idea what I just uploaded. I mean, I thought it was good, but they didn't know until after the judging was done, and that's what literally killed them for the technical aspect of it, because literally the voice was off. Like,
Yeah, it's worse when that happens in the theater.
Oh yes, it happened to Final Guffaw in the theater, and I think that may have cost us first place. We got best film runner up, but it was shown twice, and both times the Blu-ray skipped. and it skipped to a point where the punchline at the end was just negated.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't. And it wasn't the disc, and they try to blame it on the disc, but it wasn't the disc. But that's hopefully a thing of the past.
Sometimes too.
Yeah,
that was the theater.
That's what it was.
No, that was the theater. That was the theater at fault. But as far as we were very proud of Final Guffaw. It was very ambitious. We had like 20 people, masterful editing job. I can't believe that we didn't get editing for that, but that happens. It was a blast to make. It's like proud of film certain things. I think I'm proud of our horror from 2015 Sympathy, because we shot it. I ended up shooting, not because this is not why, but I shot it at Benedictine High School. I went to high school. It's where the Russo brothers went to school, and the principal was this intimidating little guy that looked exactly like the warden from Shawshank Redemption. And I'm like, but he turned out to be great. Father John something turned out to be great. Let us have the whole school all day.
Cool.
Brought food in. But Sympathy was it wasn't like blood and guts, no offense. It was like a very psychological, subtle, heavy. And, people are, they didn't get it. Well, come on. I know, it was with Sympathy. They said the judge said they didn't get it.
It was with Swan Song.
It was Swan Song they didn't get it. We're also proud of Swan Song for certain reasons. Swan Song was supposedly our Swan Song. We shot in a room about this size. We had 13 people in it, and the way we cut back and forth, and the cooperation of everybody was brilliant. And because it was like
we had been watching like a Marx Brothers movie where several people are coming into the train coach room at one time, and we had been watching All About Eve and Gypsy, so we wanted to do like a aging actress. You gotta watch it, so just watch it.
Yeah, you'll watch it. But it was proud of all of them. We're proud of all of them. We haven't done one that we think is crap. Tales of Fire, shooting on the river. Again, shooting on the river with tremendous current, cold in April. With Tina was in a kayak that just, she had never been in before, and everybody was just totally professional. Everything came together brilliantly. We're very, very proud of all of them. I don't hate any of this stuff, any of the stuff that we've done. So yeah, we're happy.
What about the projects and stuff that you're currently working on, or like in the can that are like coming out?
We're gonna hold off for a little while on things, and Renee can elaborate a little bit more.
We're gonna hold off on shooting anything until the whole COVID thing settles down, just in case. I don't want to be responsible for anybody's lives, or the lives of anybody's relatives' lives, and etc. And I feel like it might, take away from the artistic flow of something to have to be concerned about that, like the distance and the masking and all that kind of stuff. I just feel like I'd rather
hand sanitizer.
Wait. Exactly. So hopefully this will disappear
eventually.
We have another short that I wrote a while back that we're going to do. We might do that sooner because it's a very limited amount of people, and the ability to be at a distance is there. And so we're also learning how to be more autonomous.
Yeah.
I'll put it that way.
And Time Away has been a project, 2014, coming in 2015, 2016, 2017. I have the trailer, like a trailer a year. It's a drama, again, with sci-fi elements. The time that has passed has allowed us to do more research with the script. There are some things that have been learned, I guess, scientifically that we will incorporate. But as far as shooting, you could sign a waiver, sign off on COVID risks, but it's just too much. And Time Away is going to be a fully financed. It's not going to be a self-financed project. It's going to be a feature film. We're going to need a budget, but I don't want to. Yeah, we're going to pay people. We don't want to spend it on hand sanitizer by the drum and the
10 million masks.
and a million masks and a million thermometers and.
Bring
But in
home
the-
lunch and,
Yeah.
In the meantime, though, we do have the Final Goodbye on Amazon Prime. Go to Amazon Prime, view it, love it, review it, and of course it features Danny Bass, the late Danny Bass, a tragic loss to our community, as one of the primary players, and this man, John Brinkman, also passed away before the premiere. It premiered in 2018 at the Capitol Theater. We had a huge turnout, almost selling out the theater. Final Goodbye, set in 1961 Cleveland. Really proud of it. Very ambitious. Nothing else like it that you've seen that has come out of Cleveland, and it's a totally different take on Cleveland because it is a period piece. And another thing, not only will I not shoot on water again, but I will not shoot another period piece because that was sort of a pain in the ass, but very rewarding. I don't know. We are on, to find us, you could go to Facebook, Velvet Buck Productions LLC, like us, and as of the viewing of this, as you are seeing this, after you finish, if you're awake still, go to our Facebook page and you can view all of our 48s. All the 48s we've been talking about, and you compare notes. I'm sure you've been taking notes during this lecture, and you could view what you've been told. So everything's going to be there, and you'll see that we did indeed adapt. It was our motto is adapt or die, and that's true of the 48. You have to do it. If you're going to do it, commit to it. Make sure you have all your ducks in a row, and then just go for it.
Do it.
So
do it right.
Do it.
Yep. And that's about it.
Okay.
All right. Thanks for.
No
Again.
problem.